is The Breakfast Show with James Clarke on Teachers Talk Radio. Tune in live on the Podbean app or desktop player. Just head over to www.podbean.com/LSW/TT Radio or search Teachers Talk Radio. Follow the hashtag TT Radio.
Hello, bonjour, ça va? Hello, good morning. How are we all? Hope we're ready for a wonderful day. And the sun has arrived. You are here with me, James Clarke, live on your Wednesday morning breakfast show. So grab your cup of tea, grab your marking, grab whatever you need to, and settle down the next hour or so with me. We're talking all about new teachers getting ready to step into the classroom, potentially for the first time come September. And if you've got any advice you want to share, you can do so via the Podbean Live app, or of course on Twitter, where lots of you already have, and we've got some great responses. So with that in mind, I think we should start looking at some of your comments that have been coming through. And before we talk about those, though, how nice has the weather been? Now, I've been quite lucky where I am based in North London at the moment, because looking at Twitter and my personal Facebook feed and all this sort of thing, you know, the storms people are getting around the country yesterday and the lightning and everything that was happening. We got a bit of rain. Well, I say a bit of rain. It was quite a lot of rain, to be honest. But we got a bit of rain, and then that's kind of it. And I'm woken up this morning, having slept with my windows open again because it's so hot at the moment, and having the fan on. And I'm like, it's glorious. I had a school trip yesterday. I think every school seems to do. We're still at school where I am, and I think every school always has the last week where you might do trips or experience weeks or life weeks or whatever your school might call it. And I was off at Go Ape in Alexandra Palace, Ali Pali, yesterday, and it was really, I had such a great day, apart from the fact that I now look a little bit like a lobster. So apart from being slightly burned, despite the fact that we tell the kids, make sure you got your sun cream on, make sure you got plenty of water to drink, When do we ever follow our own advice? In my case, not very often. I did drink lots of water. I had loads of water, but not necessarily loads of sun cream. So it's okay. We're all right today. It's gone down a little bit. We just won't be spending too much time out in the sun today. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. If you have joined us, that is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about the antics of Mr. Clarke and the sunshine. We are talking about newly qualified teachers or teachers stepping into the classroom for the first time come September. So I asked this question out on Twitter, and lots of you have been tuning in to talk it out, or perhaps just talking it out as opposed to tuning it in. But lots of you have been getting involved, and there's some really, really great ones I'm super excited to share with you all. And they range from some being quite amusing to some perhaps being a little bit more serious, but both of them I absolutely love. And if you've got any ideas and you've just tuned in and you're thinking, I've got some great ones to share, well, you absolutely can do. Because all you need to do is comment into the Podbeam Live app chat. That rhymes slightly. The Podbeam Live app chat. You can tell what kind of end of term mood I'm in today. Or, of course, you can get involved with the Twitter. And you can do that by looking up at TT Radio, Teacher Talk Radio 2021, where you will find everything there at TT Radio 2021 even. It's been that kind of morning. And I would love to hear your views. And I'm just going to scroll through a few now. I asked this question last night on my own personal Twitter at JamClar96. And these are some of the responses that came through. The first one I'm going to read is from at Shaz Drama, who was a wonderful guest on a previous show that I had. And she just started by also saying, I have a trainee next year. She was a former student. She will be brilliant. And I just absolutely firstly love that positivity of going, do you know what? I'm really excited. They've got someone brand new coming to the department. They're going to bring so much energy. They're going to be amazing. And I just thought, credit to you, Shaz. That was absolutely just really nice to read. But the advice that she says as well is just be yourself. And then at Miss AA History said, I 110% second this. I'm authentically my crazy, fabulous self in the classroom, and the kids can tell if you're genuine. And I absolutely agree with that one. I think that's 100% true. I think if you try to pretend to be something you're not, I think the kids will get it. But most importantly, I think as well, is you're not going to be happy in yourself, and you're not going to enjoy your role or your job or your environment that you've created if you're in that classroom being something you're not. And obviously, we all slightly have our teacher personas. As I say, all teachers are performers, even though some teachers will say that they're not. But as a drama teacher, I would absolutely always say that I think everybody is always performing. We are acting in a way and we are presenting ourselves in a slightly different way, but we're not necessarily changing completely who we are. We still hold our values, our core beliefs, or whatever it might be. So I do agree with that one about really being yourself, because it is difficult when you're not. And I know that there are times when I've acted in a way that I go, actually, that's not me. That's not who I am. I'm not that kind of negative person, or why do they act that way? And the kids get it. Like the amount of times I've had kids come up to me and say, sir, that's not you, or like, are you okay today? Or this makes me sound like an awful person. I just say the amount of times, it's not that often. But yeah, they absolutely can see straight away when you are not feeling yourself, or you're not who you are. Or I'm all very honest with my form, and my form know me well. I've had them since year 7, and they're now year 9, going to year 10, which is it's scary in itself. But they know straight away when I'm not 100% being myself, and I know when I'm not being myself. So I do agree with that one. Absolutely, be yourself. I've said that quite a few times, but I think we got the message on that one. At Just Like Us UK, which is a fantastic LGBT plus school charity, which I've worked with many a time in our school, and I do recommend them. They commented saying, this is a great question. Our tip would be that we always have free resources available to make your teaching LGBT plus inclusive, and you can always get in touch for advice. And just generally, really, if you're going into education, you're stepping into a classroom for the first time, really be reflective of your practice. This is what I kind of get from that, being that actually, you don't necessarily always realize, and I didn't realize this at first. I think you kind of get a sense of it. Maybe I'm just a little bit slower, I don't know. But I think when I first stepped in a classroom to what I think now, 3 years on, it's actually the power that you have as an educator is absolutely huge. The influence you have. And when I say influence, that influence can be positive or it can be negative in some cases. I don't think we can all sit here or lie here or whatever you're doing right now this morning. That's up to you. I don't think any of us can say here and say that every single teacher up and down the country, with every single second that they are teaching and every action that they are doing is creating a positive moment or experience. Obviously we hope that that's the case, and we hope we can do that the most. But we really do have a really strong influence on the young people, and in turn the future, which slightly petrifies me when I say that. I was scared about teaching my year 11s and year 10s and the A-levels, GCSE and A-level drama. That petrified me itself, thinking, oh my goodness, my knowledge is going to be what makes them help them pass or not pass this exam to an extent. But I do think when we talk about diversity and inclusive practice there, that really, if you include it and it's included and embedded in what you do, then that's going to make a huge difference. And I know one of the examples I've seen of that in the classroom was a maths teacher. I do think it's difficult for some subjects to think about their inclusivity and diversity and how they embed it into what they do. So it isn't just a one-off lesson or a tick-off lesson. And they were doing something around measure. I'm not a math teacher, so I apologize in advance. Measuring the sides of a square or a rectangle. I'm going to assume there's no other fancier name than just saying measuring the sides of a square or a rectangle. But they were doing that. And I think I want to say they're working out the area. I think working out. Let's say that it's something to do with that. Anyway, that's not the point. Whether they're working out area or perimeter. There we go. I still remember that maths GCSE, and they were measuring the area and the perimeter of the shape, and they used religious flags and a pride flag and sort of other things like that, and other nations' flags and things like that, just naturally in what they were doing. So instead of it just being a plain shape, actually there was something else behind it. But the lesson wasn't about that. It was just, we happen to measuring the shape and this is what it is, or this is what it might be. So just thinking about those sort of things are really great, and opportunities to that, which is just an example of some things that just like us have on their site as well. So if you have just joined us, I'm very excited that we are talking, very excited that you're here, and also very excited to be talking, but very excited that you are here with us today. Well, we are getting ready to talk and give advice to those trainee teachers or newly qualified teachers who are stepping into the classroom for the first time come September. What was that experience like for you? Do you remember it? I remember it. And yeah, it seemed a lifetime ago, but it wasn't. It really, really wasn't. Don't forget, though, you to let me know your thoughts via the Podbean Live app, or on Twitter, or in any way you like. Carrier pigeon, why not? Morse code, semaphore, drum beats. I'll get the message eventually. And it is so nice being able to sit here today, the windows wide open, the sun's on my face. I'm ready for summer. Today is also my last day at school. We broke up for summer holidays today, so I think that's adding to my little bit of excitement today. Of course, we all love our jobs, but we also enjoy a break too. So what about you? What about anyone listening? Is anybody listening already broken up for school? Has anyone already finished? I know some schools have already broken up. We break up today, half day today, 12:30. Very excited. And then I think 2 hours for a bit of end of summer speeches. Got quite a few staff leaving, which I think, lots of people going on for the right reasons, moving to new places, relocating. Lots of people moving out of London at the moment. I think that the pandemic effect is part of that process. I think lots of us want to get back outdoors. But nevertheless, keeping it positive, it's summer for another 2 days, and I think it rains. But, we'll carry on. So, advice. That's what we're talking. I'm excited, sat here now thinking, great, ready for summer holidays, ready to go on. But there will also be lots of people nervously, I say nervous, they might not be. I definitely was, nervously starting out thinking, oh my goodness, come September, I'm starting teaching for the first time, on a course, PGCE, whatever route into teaching you might be doing. Or might be thinking, I've just qualified, I've got my first job, I start officially in September. Primary, you might have your own class for the first time. You might have just got your timetable if you're in secondary. All of those really exciting things. You might be thinking, what do I do? What do I use this time? Do I rest? What should I be planning? What should I be going to or seeing? Whatever it might be. And so I was asking that question. And here are some more we've got. Miss A History also said, just looking back, I would say use the summer just to relax and recharge. And that's so true. And I think I'm planning in already just some bed days. I love a bed day. Just, bit of Netflix or whatever streaming service you wish to use. Going through a TV series. I did this a bit yesterday, obviously not in bed because I was at school on our school trip. But I got back and I was like, actually, I'm back at 4:00. It's coming towards the end of term. I break up today or the next day as it was yesterday. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to recharge my batteries I didn't quite say it like that to myself, but I did think, you know what, I'm just going to sit here and watch this. And I did. Unashamedly, I did sit and watch about 3 or 4 episodes of the new TV series that I've been getting a little bit stuck into. So I would agree with that one. Just looking back, you use the summer to recharge, get yourself ready, motivated, whatever you need to do for starting out in September. We got another one here from at Thora Hallabrog that said the following: get a good flask, do all your marking in batches of 5, invest in at snag tights, get a propelling pencil, keep painkillers, deodorant, lip balm, vitamin C, and tea bags in your desk drawer. So true. I mean, I don't quite have all of those things in my desk drawer, but I mean, I have a lot of things in my desk drawer, well, on my desk, but completely agree with that. I think it you know, you want amount of snacks I have. The problem is I had to stop myself buying snacks because I buy snacks, but then you eat the snacks, and then the snacks are gone. So you buy more snacks, and you just eat them. It just becomes a vicious cycle. I had to stop myself this year, so lockdowns helped that, and only having 1 or 2 people in the office at one time, because we have an office table in the middle. All the performing arts share, and that is the food table. There's always something on there. So yes, definitely recommend having snacks and things ready in your drawer for those days, because you are going to need them. I also enjoy that somebody else has backed up this love of snag tights. No idea what they are. I've just been looking it up. I mean, the only time I tend to ever wear tights is when I've done panto. So there we go. So maybe I need to go there. But everyone deserves a comfy tights. Well, there we go. Tights that fit. There you go. That's some advice for people. And I take that actually, you know, I love to get finding out my teacher wardrobe. You know, find your teacher style. What do you want to wear? You know, those sort of things. Always some great sales things going on. You know, start thinking about actually what are you going to wear that's practical for your subject or for your school as well. Do all your marking in batches of 5. I think that's really great. And I think it's just breaking it down. It's taking things bit by bit and not thinking that you've got to do everything at once. And these are all the things you learn. I think it's okay if you sit there thinking, I've got to get everything done now, and you get it done in September or whatever it might be, but you will find a routine or a system that works for you. We'll be right back very soon after the news, where we will be carrying on looking at this idea of advice and support for those of you going into education in September, or all of us reflecting on our own first times into education. So if you want to share your experiences, share your advice, or perhaps you are somebody that's stepping into the classroom for the first time come September and you don't know what to do and you want to ask a question, well, feel free to do so via the Podbean Live app, or of course you can get involved on Twitter. Join the conversation, tune in and talk it out. Here with me, James Clarke, on the Wednesday morning breakfast show.
This is Teachers Talk Radio, and this is Teachers Talk Radio News.
This is your latest Teachers Talk Radio News with Gail Glenn. Figures released recently by the Department for Education have shown that pupils in the borough of Oldham have absence rates amongst the highest in England. Oldham Council's Managing Director of Children and Young People, Gerard Jones, is quoted as saying in an interview with the Oldham Times that the longer-term impact of COVID-19 is persistent absence and elective home education. There's a group of children that we might really struggle to ever get back into education. The council is focusing on young people's mental health for the next academic year. Mr. Jones stated that what really helps children learn is to be happy, healthy and safe. It's not just the learning resources that we need, it's the support around children's mental health that enables them to learn. £12 million is being invested to maintain and improve Staffordshire schools. New roofs and windows will be installed, and heating systems, pipework and electrical networks will be upgraded. Jonathan Price, Staffordshire County Council's Cabinet Member for Education, said, "The quality of school buildings can help or hinder pupils' learning, and we are committed to having our children taught in the best possible environment across the county. Willowden, a subsidiary of Inspiring Scotland, is to launch a chain of outdoor nurseries in Edinburgh. The first site will have capacity for up to 24 children per day for children aged between 3 and 5. They eventually plan to operate across Scotland, including deprived communities. Chief Executive Deborah Grant said, "With funded childcare hours doubling from August and COVID-19 continuing to impact children's health and well-being, there is growing demand for increased access to outdoor nurseries across Scotland." This has been your daily education news briefing.
Creative Resources, made for teachers by teachers. At Creative Resources, we've been rethinking what a classroom can be. We've created a huge range of more than 2,500 original and exciting resources that span across more than 15 different subject areas. Whether you're looking for primary or secondary level resources, careers options, PSHE, arts or humanities, Creative Resources have the resources for you. We offer full curriculum packages and unique, challenging escape rooms themed on topics such as Shakespeare, Tudors, and fractions. We have quizzes, task cards, Tarsier puzzles, and lots more. Better still, more than 100 resources can be accessed for free. Just visit our website, www.CRE8TIVEresources.com. You can get 10% off any order you make on our website by using discount code TT Radio. Creative Resources, made for teachers by teachers. Every teacher loves stationery, right? Imagine getting a selection of fun, beautiful and unique stationery items designed and selected especially for teachers, delivered through your door every month. You need to check out teacherslovestationery.club.
I'm always so excited when the box arrives. It's such a treat.
My Teachers Love Stationery Club box is just a little treat to myself every month.
It's always full of delightful and surprising items, including some really good quality stationery brands like Faber-Castell and Stabilo.
And because you never know what you're going to get, it makes it even more fun and special when you get it.
It feels really great to be supporting a family business that's run by real teachers. I can't help feeling like they just know what I'm going to enjoy using stationery-wise better than I do myself.
Visit teacherslovestationery.club and enter the code TT Radio when you buy your first stationery box to save £2 today. teacherslovestationery.club. Introducing the Leadership Masterclass series by Diana Osagi. Learn how to ditch your fears and develop your leadership confidence. How to deal with difficult colleagues. How to thrive when you lead in a challenging environment. And how to get colleagues to buy into your vision. Join Diana for her online leadership masterclasses starting on the 10th of July and running all the way through the summer. These sessions are the perfect way to prepare and refresh for the next academic year and beyond. Book your place at courageousleadership.co.uk/events now. The first 50 leaders to sign up get an additional free mini coaching session with Diana herself. Don't miss this. Courageous Leadership Masterclasses at courageousleadership.co.uk/events.
Okay, welcome back to your Wednesday morning breakfast show with me, James Clarke, and I'm just going to say, I think I've brought the sunshine. I wish that was true, but I hope it is sunny wherever you are, as sunny as it is for me here in North London. I'm really glad as well to see that people are enjoying that. I found the settings function. I didn't realise it was going to impact everybody, but it now gives you a love heart wallpaper when you come on and listen to the show today. So there we go. Spreading the love on a bit of a Wednesday morning. It's what we all need, don't we? Today we're talking all about getting ready for those first few steps into the classroom or reflecting on our own experiences of stepping into the classroom for the first time. I know that it was definitely a nerve-wracking one for me, but I've learned so much already, and so has everybody else. There's some fantastic answers coming through, and suggestions coming through, and experiences coming through. So don't forget to share your experiences with me, as people already have, such as the two talking heads here on the Podbean Live app, or indeed get involved in the conversation on Twitter. This is Teacher Talk Radio, and you need to tune in and talk it out. And as you may tell from my excitement today in my voice, today's the last day for me at summer. I know some people will have already broken up, but today's the last one for me. So if that's the case for you, whether you're about to break up or already broken up, or perhaps, you know, I don't know what the other option would be, to be honest. I started that sentence. I was like, where else am I going to go? But yeah, let me know what you're up to this morning. Some of you might be in the car on the way home. And don't forget as well, if you don't already know, that during summer holidays, Teacher Talk Radio stays on air. So you can still listen to us throughout your summer, wherever you are. You could literally listen to us on a plane if you're going away, or, you know, by the pool, either abroad, or you might have your own pool. Who knows? I've got one. It's just a little paddling pool, though, that I inflate. So that I can fit about two feet in. Not literally 2 feet of water, just my 2 feet, and that's probably about it. But there we go. Whatever you're doing, you can listen to us. And today we've got some other amazing shows coming up as well. So we've also got I'm just looking at it now, 4 to 5:30. We've got Harry Walters with the drive home. What I need to do is I need to print the schedule out and put it beside my desk. Is what I need to do. But there we go. 4 to 5:30 today, the drive home show with Harry Walters, and also at 7:30 it's the wonderful Nevin Gunn with the Twilight Show for you. So that's at 6 to 7:30. And as mentioned, we will be back during the summer, we'll continue throughout the summer, so you can still get in contact with us all, but we will be starting the morning show a little bit later. So we'll be starting the breakfast show at about 9 o'clock, I believe. So do make sure you are checking out the Twitter at TT Radio 2021, so you can keep up to date with all the amazing stuff that's happening, as over 5,000 of you are. Nearly 6,000. Let's see if we can get to that by the end of summer. That's the goal. Why not? So a conversation coming through here from the two talking heads saying, great discussion topic. Well, firstly, thank you very much. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am delivering it. Great discussion topic. They say, don't put pressure on yourself to be 100% ready for September. It's easy to do a lot of meaningless school stuff during the holidays, but what matters, is being refreshed when you are with the class. And so true. And we've been, this is a whole nother debate question that I'm sure people might already be having in their classrooms or in their staff rooms or on Twitter, as is always the case every year. It's like, when you come to the holidays, what do you do? Are you somebody that switches off? Are you somebody that advocates for being, it's the holidays, no schoolwork, you wait until you go back, you use inset days, whatever it might be? I mean, I kind of sit in the middle with it. I actually quite enjoy sometimes, controversial or not, I don't know. Apologies if it is. I quite enjoy doing a bit of work during the holidays. I feel refreshed. I feel relaxed. I can do it when I want. I quite like going out to the park and reading a book or writing some stuff up and, on my laptop, whatever it might be. I quite enjoy that sometimes. Obviously, I enjoy the downtime, but that's how I work, and I like to get myself ready for September. Alternatively, I know there are people that are completely against that, and that's absolutely fine. But, getting yourself ready for the classroom for the first time, I think you are right there. I think you could really panic or thinking, I could do this and this. I remember when I started my teaching course, they had all these suggested readings. It's the same when you start any uni course. You get all these, massive books of suggested reading, which you then start reading, and sometimes none of it's ever discussed. And you're like, well, what was that? So I do think that, take some time out, do read. I remember last summer, the CPD I was going to give myself, or I thought actually what I want to do that I never normally get time to do, is I'm just going to read some scripts and read some plays and go and see theatre, because I'm a drama teacher, and I was like, actually I don't get to do that in normal times, and that's what I want to do. Is that's what I'm going to do to myself. And think about what you can do. If you want to do something related to your school, if you want to do some work, or you're not sure what you're doing, or you want to go and see things, well, go and do that. If you're going to Primary, you know, think about, is there any, you know, primary based shows you can go see? Obviously advocating theatre here slightly, perhaps too much, but you know, there is things you could do, and just thinking, actually don't put all that pressure on yourself, that you have to be 100% ready, because I don't think you can. I think it's absolutely impossible. I think we're in a job as educators, no matter in what age range we're teaching in or working in, whatever sector it might be. When we look at education, I think it's impossible to be ready, because every day is different. That's what I love about the job. I love that going into school today, you know, for the last day, I have no idea what's going to happen. You know, I have no idea what's going to happen come September, because it's not going to be the same. There's going to be new year 7s coming through. You know, what my year 9's going to be like when they go into year 10. Are they going to have spent the 6 weeks maturing and getting ready and come back wonderful citizens of North London? I don't know. Maybe I'm living in hope with that one. Who knows? So I just don't think we can ever really fully prepare. So I completely agree with you on that one. We've got some more coming through, which I'm just going to find as well on Twitter. So as I say, make sure you are joining in the conversation with us this morning. Lots of love for the snag tights coming through as well. Another one saying, you know, there was a comment here that I was just reading earlier. That's it. And this is something that I didn't do, and I only did because of COVID in the last 6 months. And in January, well, I've done it a couple of times, but I didn't really stick with it. This year I've stuck with it. And that was getting a good flask, which I've now ironically lost of all the things. But I would also recommend a good mug, depending on what your school policies allow, whether they allow mugs or you've got them having closed top or whatever it might be. And yeah, I think I'm going to flip that though, from not just saying just a flask, also a good water bottle. Now, I was probably very cliche and done what every single other teacher or person done across the globe, which was buy those, you know, really nice metal ones. Because I was like, if I've got a nice water bottle, I'll drink more water and da-da-da. And to be fair, I do drink more water when I have it, but I don't always have it. But when I do have it, I do drink more water. So completely agree. Get yourself a good mug, good flask, you know, all of those things. Treat yourself to a nice bit of stationery. You know, it will go, and you will definitely either lose it or someone will borrow it and you'll never get it back. But stationery is key. A stapler. They're like gold dust. I can never find a working stapler in my life at school. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe it's just my department, school where we are. Maybe we all love a stapler. I just can never find a working stapler. So I'd highly recommend finding yourself a stapler or two, hiding it in your office somewhere under lock and key. That and glue sticks. I mean, they are, if you need glue sticks for your subject, buy them in bulk, start putting them somewhere. Glue stick, staplers, and pens. I honestly, I don't think, and I think I saw this somewhere on Twitter, or someone said it to me, or I had a dream about it. I'm not quite sure. One of them. And I don't think I've ever finished a pen. I mean, deep thoughts here for a Wednesday morning. So I do apologise for taking this to another level, but I just thought to myself, I don't think I've ever finished a pen. I just don't think it's ever happened. I think I lose it, or I give it to a student or a teacher because they need a pen at the time, and I never see it again. So I've now started getting a subscription order from Amazon on the Bic. I think it's the Bic ones that have like the 4 different colours, because they were really cheap. So I've started getting a subscription order in every 3 months of about 6 new pens. And I was so excited when they were on offer. So that if you're not stepped yet into a classroom, this is the exciting things you've got to come up here. Or perhaps it's just me. There we go. Anyway, let's move on from my conversations about pens and glue sticks and staplers to Benaya, who's put a comment here on the Podbean Live app saying, international school teacher here. Hello, thank you for joining us. Really glad to have you here. Week 4 of the school holidays. Wow. But unfortunately, we are still in lockdown. Let me know where you're from as well. So taking a break from Zoom, trying to do more family stuff and doing lots of reading. Likely to be online again for the start of the new school year in August. So taking a Zoom break. And, you know, really true. I think everyone up and down the country, across internationally, as we're seeing here. Let me know. A Brit living in Malaysia. Oh, I've got a friend who's teaching in that side of the world, and yeah, absolutely loving it. Very, very jealous of well, I say the weather, we've got some fantastic weather here, but very jealous of you there. I think really true. It is about taking that time to rest. And I think, what Brent and I said here, what the two talking heads have said, it's so true. It's just taking that moment out to reflect, to do what you need to do to get yourself ready for the start of that term. And doing what works for you, not what works for everybody else, because something that might work for me will definitely not work for somebody else, and that's absolutely fine. Some more comments coming through, so I'm just going to read another one out here. Don't be afraid. This was from @Miss N McColden, which was also a guest on a previous show that I had as well, which said, don't be afraid to ask questions. And this might sound a daft one, but make sure you know your route to work and how long it will take you for you to get there. So it's not a stress when you get back in September. That, I thought, was some great advice. Obviously, definitely don't be afraid to ask questions. But this one of knowing your route to work. That for me is, everyone has pull factors, push factors, whatever it might be for finding a job, and location is absolutely one for me. Now, I live super close to where my school is, particularly for a London school. I'm only literally about 20-minute walk-ish from my school. Some people would hate that. Doesn't bother me at all. But it's so true, knowing how you're going to get there. If there's delays on public transport, or you can't get the train in because snow day or whatever's happened, or your car breaks down, do you know your route to get to? Those, I think, is really great. And having that pre-planned means that you are ready and you already know it. And practicing that route that they're saying here before you get into September, I think is a great idea as well. I've been meaning to do it for about 3 or 4 years now. Not done it. But to get a bike, lots of schools have a cycle to work scheme. You might have one in your school with your council, local authority, local area, wherever you are. See if there's any offers there. Think about that process. Is there an opportunity to perhaps cycle or to walk? Thinking environmentally, is there options? Are those options available? Which I think was a really, really great idea. We've got a long list of things coming through, which I think, thank you for this. So the first long list comes from @Gemma Lennington. And Gemma Lennington had this to say. Number 1, know your subject well. Number 2, get to know your students well. Number 3, base your teaching around Rosine. I don't actually know who that is. Rosinis? I need to probably research that one. Number 4, follow the school's behaviour policy before you lose your cool. And number 5, be as consistent at managing girls / low profile students' behaviour as boys / high profile students. And finally, number 6, enjoy the summer. That is a key message definitely coming through from everybody who's commented so far about enjoying the summer, enjoying the break. And I think there's some great ones here. And I think the ones that stick out for me are following the school's behaviour policy before you lose control. I think that just comes into this whole idea of consistency. The students know straight away, and particularly in secondary, when you see them move around different classes, they can tell straight away if somebody's not following the rules, if there's even a slight chance that there's a bit of inconsistency. Being brutal, there are some people that will exploit. It's not perhaps the right word, but will use that and see that and note that and be like, actually, well, I can challenge here, I can challenge there, I can do this, I can do that. So being wary of that, I think, is really great, and just being consistent. As with the second point there, being consistent at managing, all the behaviour and what you expect of them. I think that's so important. If you consistently expect high attainment or high progress or whatever it might be, or high engagement or whatever it might be, you're going to get that back. One of the things that I do with every class, right from year 7 all the way through, from the very first lesson, is everybody must perform. I know how hard it is for people to get up on stage, particularly in front of friends, and do a play or perform or do a reading or speak out loud, whatever it might be. But I always say, my expectation is everybody's going to be up on stage, doing something by the end of this lesson. Even if you're really nervous and you start off by doing one line to begin with, that's fine. That's fine. You've got up, you've done something that's fantastic, you've worked with your group, wonderful. We're going to build on that though. So, my expectation is by the end of it, you're saying at least, your own, 5, 6 lines, 1 minute on stage, whatever it might be, is that is what I expect. So really, you know, being consistent coming through on that one. I think that's a great one. There's another long list that I'm going to read to you very, very shortly after another short break and I love this person's name, you know, be kind dot always dot hashtag MCCT, which is at Critic Drama. And we're going to be sharing their advice with you very, very soon as well.
Creative Resources, made for teachers by teachers. At Creative Resources, we've been rethinking what a classroom can be. We've created a huge range of more than 2,500 original and exciting resources that span across more than 15 different subject areas. Whether you're looking for primary or secondary level resources, careers options, PSHE, arts, or humanities, Creative Resources have the resources for you. We offer full curriculum packages and unique, challenging escape rooms themed on topics such as Shakespeare, Tudors, and fractions. We have quizzes, task cards, Tarsia puzzles, and lots more. Better still, more than 100 resources can be accessed for free. Just visit our website, www.CRE8TIVEresources.com. You can get 10% off any order you make on our website by using the discount code TT Radio. Creative Resources, made for teachers by teachers. Every teacher loves stationery, right? Imagine getting a selection of fun, beautiful, and unique stationery items designed and selected especially for teachers, delivered through your door every month. You need to check out teacherslovestationery.club.
I'm always so excited when the box arrives. It's such a treat.
My Teachers Love Stationery Club box is just a little treat to myself every month.
It's always full of delightful and surprising items, including some really good quality stationery brands like Faber-Castell and Stabilo.
And because you never know what you're going to get, it makes it even more fun and special when you get it.
It feels really great to be supporting a family business that's run by real teachers. I can't help feeling like they just know what I'm going to enjoy using stationery-wise better than I do myself.
Visit teacherslovestationery.club and enter the code TT Radio when you buy your first stationery box to save £2 today. teacherslovestationery.club. Introducing the Leadership Masterclass series by Diana Osagie. Learn how to ditch your fears and develop your leadership confidence. How to deal with difficult colleagues. How to thrive when you lead in a challenging environment. And how to get colleagues to buy into your vision. Join Diana for her online leadership masterclasses starting on the 10th of July and running all the way through the summer. These sessions are the perfect way to prepare and refresh for the next academic year and beyond. Book your place at courageousleadership.co.uk/events now. The first 50 leaders to sign up get an additional free mini coaching session with Diana herself. Don't miss this. Courageous Leadership Masterclasses at courageousleadership.co.uk/events.
And welcome back. It's me, James Clarke, on your Wednesday morning breakfast show where we're talking all about getting ready for those first few days, weeks, first step into your classroom in September. We've already had some fantastic answers coming through, both on Twitter and the Podbean app. So if you've any stories to share about your first time in the classroom as a qualified teacher, or indeed you are a qualified teacher and you want to ask some questions, feel free to do that. What would your top tips be? We've got some amazing ones coming through, and I've got lots more to read out. So get ready to tune in and talk it out. Whatever you're doing this morning, I hope you are having a wonderful day, whether you're on the way to work, whether you are already on holiday and you're relaxing, which is always a good time to remind you that Teachers Talk Radio will be available all through the summer. So take us wherever you are. We can go global, as we already are. As we've already spoken, we've got a lovely guest with us on the Podbean app. I can see joined us and listening today, a Brit living in Malaysia. So there we go, already international on a Wednesday morning, and it's only 8:15 UK time. There we go. So Vi's coming through talking about getting ready for September, newly qualified teacher, perhaps the first time going to a classroom, or perhaps starting a PGCE or an alternative route into teaching, and thinking, actually, right, okay, what do I need to do? What should I be preparing? What should I be getting ready? All of those things that we think about and perhaps are worried about. And there's a fantastic one that came through, which I'm going to read now. Loads of likes for this one, from Critic Drama. And it's a bit of a list, so I'll read you the list and then we'll break it down further. Celebrate the kids. Sleep. Eat well. Cry when you need to. Laugh. Don't take yourself too seriously. Be a cheerleader. Listen and learn from those more experienced. Stay humble. Don't try and change the world. Just do the job with love. Finally, if you need it, ask for help. I just love this. I'm gonna read it one more time. Celebrate the kids. Sleep. Eat well. Cry when you need to. Laugh. Don't take yourself too seriously. Be a cheerleader. Listen and learn from those more experienced. Stay humble. Don't try and change the world. Just do the job with love. And finally, if you need it, ask for help. I just think that is such a great and powerful list of words and thoughts there to kind of break down and go through in terms of, actually, I think they're also important. And I think these are important things, not just for those of us, going into education for potentially the first time, but also for those of us who have been in education a long time and perhaps are using this summer to it's been a bizarre year. And it is still, for lots of people around the world, still going to be a bizarre year next year going, COVID, lockdown might still be around for lots of people, and will impact potentially education even further. So just being kind to yourself, I think, is so important. And what made me laugh when I read this, it sort of said, eat well. And I was thinking, well, does that mean lots of food? Because I definitely have no problem on that one. Definitely ticking that box. But no, it is about eating healthy. It's about eating well. It's not always easy to eat well on the job sometimes, but we'll get there. Listen and learn from those more experienced. So true. You get so much just from listening to those around you. Celebrating people, celebrating yourself, being a cheerleader, I think, is so important as well. All of these factors coming through here, and all of these things to consider when talking, looking ahead to getting ready for school for the first time or not. And I think when I started school and I went into there for the first time as a PGC, if I reflect on that moment for a second, I thought, actually, oh gosh, this is petrifying. I'm going into a classroom, I'm going into a space, and I'm really nervous. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this is for the first time I'm going to be the teacher in charge. Like, I'm going to be the adult in the room, and the eyes are going to be on me, and they're going to want to listen to me, and it's going to be a challenging moment. But I absolutely loved it. I loved that feeling and that adrenaline of being in front of a class. And, those are the moments that I wish I could have bottled up, or those memories that you can save and go back to and remember. And I think, don't forget those moments. Don't forget those moments and those opportunities, because they are so special. The first time you teach a lesson, the first time somebody says to you, oh, I get it now, I understand it. The first time somebody says to you or comes to you for support or advice or help, there's something in that. There really is. So I think remembering those moments when they happen, and if they've already happened, just holding on to them, because there will be days. And I think they don't always tell you this when you go into teaching, or sometimes, I think that sometimes they tell you, or they label the point a lot, or sometimes it's not really mentioned at all. And it is, you will have bad days, like sometimes horrible days, and days where the clock just doesn't seem to turn and just stops. And that's okay too. It's okay to put your hands up and go, do you know what? Today is one of those days. Today is a day which I'm just going to get through. I'm going to do my best, but most importantly, be kind to yourself. Do what you need to do to walk away from that moment and refresh. And I think summer is great for that. Particular weather, It's hard to feel angry or sad when it's sunny and you can just sit outside and you can just relax. Staying humble, and I think, a few people have put this one in the chat. Really, just making sure that you ask for help when you need it. I think you feel sometimes when you go into teaching, you have to be a superhero and you have to face the world on your own, and it's you against everybody. But actually, that is not the case at all. And so many people are more than happy to take time out and support you and speak to you and just listen, and because we've all been there. The things that I was asking when I was training and in my first year, when I went into my second year and third and this year, and I had to oversee some new PGCs coming to school and support them in department and their placements. And I said to them, you are asking the exact same things that I was asking, or you're doing the exact same things that I was doing, and every newly qualified teacher does. So don't be afraid of that. And some more coming through here from Benaya on the Podbeam Live app saying, remember, relationships first, and please smile before Christmas. Oh, there was that. I think that is the piece of advice that every teacher gets. And it must just be part of the government training schedule or something. I don't know what it is, but every teacher always says to you the rule of don't smile before Christmas. I just think that's not true at all, because again, it's being yourself. And if you are somebody that is positive and smiley, and naturally that's going to help create those relationships, which is the most important thing when it comes to education and working with young people. So yeah, do smile before Christmas. Don't listen to that advice. If no one said it to you, just ignore that person straight away. So please smile before Christmas. I'm also saying there, don't be afraid to say you don't know, and don't be afraid to ask for help. So true. I think otherwise you go into the job or you're doing something and you're doing it wrong. And then that actually is just as worse, if not worse, than actually saying, I don't know what that is. Please, I need help. Don't being afraid to ask for help. I think sometimes we all get a little bit nervous with that. And I think that's not just a teacher thing. I think that's a human thing. I think about myself is we like to be able to do it all. And actually, you're going into a brand new field, a brand new job. You're probably not going to know it all. And that's okay if you don't. And you're learning. I think what makes the job amazing is that every day is a learning day. To coin a very cheesy phrase, but it's absolutely true. Every day is literally a learning day, and no day is going to be the same, and no class is going to be the same. And I thought when I had my 2 year 8 classes, I think it was, and people always used to say, oh, you won't be able to do the same thing with them, you'll have to tailor the lesson, you'll have to change this or do this. I thought, yeah, like it's gonna be fun. I mean, they're the same age, they're the same year group, it's the same topic, surely it will be fine, I can just do the same thing. That is not the case. That is not what you can do. So bear that in mind, because classes will move at different rates. So, different characters in the room will completely change the outcome, what happens at the end of that lesson, particularly in creative-based subjects. And they will take it the direction that they want to go. So if you're there to steer them on course and keep the ship, as they say, on the straight and narrow, and keep it going into the harbour, but they will naturally be the waves that will slightly alter that route. So you're just got to steady it, but be prepared that you've got to sway with it. A boat doesn't stand still, just like a class doesn't stand still. You've got to go with it and be aware that there will be some changes. You'll have to fight against some tides. You'll have to fight against that to get where you want them to get to, and they will get to that finishing line, but it will probably be at different rates, and that's okay. And I think we as teachers and educators are very, very good at a bit of adaptability. I think we're good a bit at adapting. So before I finish up today's show, I'm going to make this a slightly shorter show today, only because I do have the last day, as I've mentioned a few times to those of you listening all the way through, last day for me. So we are getting ready to have a little bit of a party. And if I don't buy or get my form some ice creams, they're going to be very sad with me, I can tell. So just going to play you the news once more, and then we'll have a short summary about what we've talked about today here on the Wednesday morning breakfast show with Teach Talk Radio. So don't go anywhere just yet. Still a little bit more to come from me and my final thoughts.
This is Teachers Talk Radio. And this is Teachers Talk Radio News.
This is your latest Teachers Talk Radio News with Gail Glenn. Figures released recently by the Department for Education have shown that pupils in the borough of Oldham have absence rates amongst the highest in England. Oldham Council's Managing Director of Children and Young People, Gerard Jones, is quoted as saying in an interview with the Oldham Times that the longer-term impact of COVID-19 is persistent absence and elective home education. There's a group of children that we might really struggle to ever get back into education. The council is focusing on young people's mental health for the next academic year. Mr. Jones stated that what really helps children learn is to be happy, healthy and safe. It's not just the learning resources that we need, it's the support around children's mental health that enables them to learn. £12 million is being invested to maintain and improve Staffordshire schools. New roofs and windows will be installed, and heating systems, pipework and electrical networks will be upgraded. Jonathan Price, Staffordshire County Council's Cabinet Member for Education, said, "The quality of school buildings can help or hinder pupils' learning, and we are committed to having our children taught in the best possible environment across the county." Willow Den, a subsidiary of Inspiring Scotland, is to launch a chain of outdoor nurseries in Edinburgh. The first site will have capacity for up to 24 children per day for children aged between 3 and 5. They eventually plan to operate across Scotland, including deprived communities. Chief Executive Deborah Grant said, "With funded childcare hours doubling from August and COVID-19 continuing to impact children's health and well-being, there is growing demand for increased access to outdoor nurseries across Scotland." This has been your daily education news briefing.
There we go. What an amazing day it's looking out to be, and I hope it's looking to be just as an amazing day for you as I'm sitting here looking out to the lovely sunshine, and also the bin men who have just come round. And somebody's wheelie bin has got flowers all around it. How sweet is that? Just a moment of pause thought there. It's been absolutely amazing to have you joining me on the Wednesday Morning Breakfast Show. And we're going to share our final thoughts on everything that we've covered today, before we will be finishing slightly earlier today, mainly as I mentioned before, it's the last day for me at school, so got to run, grab some ice lollies, because, you know, ice lollies at 9 o'clock's all right, right? But how are you spending your day today? What are you up to? How are you enjoying yourself? Are you at home? Are you relaxing? Or are you getting ready for another school day, or on the way to work, whatever it might be, or listening to this back, which of course you can do. You can listen to all the previous Teacher Talk radio shows via the Podbean app by searching up Teacher Talk Radio. You can also find us on Spotify, which is very cool. And Apple Pods, I'm never sure what the Apple one's called, but the podcast for Apple, you can find them on too. And basically, pretty much any good service that has pods on, shows on, blogs on will be allow you to re-listen to it. And it's really great to see that lots of people are, and we're getting lots of downloads from people finding old shows, and there are some absolutely fantastic ones on there. And we've had some really great guests on lots of the other shows. So do check that out. And the best way to find out what's up and coming is to make sure you're on our Twitter, which is @TT Radio 2021. But if you are sat there thinking, actually, I would love to be a host, I would love to do this, then you absolutely can. There are gaps. We are looking for more people to join our team. So if you are wanting to do that, then why not join us? And why not be the person that is sat here saying, well, not at my house, but sat where you are, wherever you might be, saying good morning to listeners quite literally all over the world. So today we talked about, or have been talking about, September, getting ready, for those teachers who are brand new into the profession, or those teachers who perhaps for the first time are going into teaching. So the question is, how are people getting ready? How are you feeling about it? What do you do? What would you say to people going into the profession for the first time? What your advice is? And we've had loads of really great advice. And I think if I summarize the advice we've had so far, it boils down to a couple of things. One is being kind to yourself, respecting yourself, looking after yourself, and really making sure that you're putting both yourself first, but of course the young people as well, and doing what is right for you. And if anything, we've learned that there are so many different things which you can be doing and putting in place, but you have to do whatever is right for you, and make sure that it's what you want to do, not what somebody is telling you need to do. Obviously, try things. Obviously, if you're being directed to do different things, then you need to do those, or the things that you have to do, you need to do. But make sure alongside that, you're doing what it is that you feel is best for you to be able to as well. I would say a massive thank you to everybody who's been tuning in today, and those of you listening back to this show. Hope you find this useful. Don't forget there are more shows coming up later today as well, at 4 to 5:30, and also later in the evening as well. So make sure you are tuning in, talking it out. And as I say, if you want to be a guest on a show, we would also love to have you. I've got lots of shows happening throughout the summer. Every Wednesday morning, we will be changing to a slightly later time of 9 o'clock. So you have a bit of a lie-in. And I will be really excited to welcome you onto my show, talking about whatever it is you want your voice to be heard about. Other than that, just say a massive thank you once more. And whatever you're doing the rest of the day, have a fabulous day. Look after yourself, look after those around you, and hopefully enjoy the sunshine if you've got somewhere you are, which I think lots of us do. All the best. Thank you.
You've been listening to Teachers Talk Radio. Tune in live and listen back at ttradio.org. We look forward to hearing from you next time on Teachers Talk Radio.